Now, let's say you're busy and they had a contact with hiring manager. Can they actually ask directly hiring manager for feedback, even the recruiter was involved? Why I'm saying that, because for me, and I noticed the candidates, in order to progress quickly, having that feedback, they can know what were the gaps exactly, and they can prepare next time better. They can invest 6 to 1 year in order, let's say, if they really want to work for this company, prepare and fill that gaps and be ready to next interview to exactly match to the opening role.
Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from with that. It's a difficult question to answer because every relationship and every account is going to be different. I suppose I'm touching on something here that I find is a real problem in recruitment, where everybody has an opinion about everything. That every in-house talent acquisition individual who's hiring is going to be looking for a certain set of criteria. Some people think the cover letter is really important. Some people think the CV should be immaculate, right? But to be honest, when I'm talking to some serious recruiters who've been in the industry for 10, 15 years, the simple things really add up, right? The reason that I talk about that, to come back to your question, in general, my recommendation, my advice would be to go through the recruiter, right? And there's a number of reasons for that, because you don't want to give off the wrong impression. When you're dealing with a recruiter that's dealing with a hiring manager, they know what the hiring manager is looking for. Often, if you haven't been given feedback, and this happens more often than people think, I'd say, is that the feedback actually hasn't been given by the hiring manager. In a lot of cases, the hiring manager can forget to give feedback about the other candidates because they're busy, right? And that's understandable. It should be fair that if you have candidates who don't make it through, they should be given feedback. It doesn't happen all the time. It can very easily fall through the cracks. If you engage with the hiring manager, you could find a hiring manager and they go, "Oh yeah, my apologies, I'm sorry. Look, let me have a conversation and I'll get back to you." It could also be a bugbear for the recruiter in the situation. Like, it's quite contextual. My advice would be to go through the recruiter and just reaffirm politely over a period that you are, and the key word here is politely, and to be kind, politely, that you're looking for the feedback, you haven't received it. If it's okay with you, could I get some feedback on that role? What will happen is the recruiter will, by proxy, first of all, hunt down the hiring manager and try and get that feedback for you. But second of all, and more importantly, because the recruiter wants you to get that role, they're more inclined to be able to interview prep you and figure out what that was to push you forward again. Because what you don't want to happen with a recruiter is that you kind of get left to the wayside, right? You want to be building that relationship. You want to be placing yourself as somebody who's has good experience and is well balanced. So to answer the question fully, engage through the recruiter and focus on building that relationship with the recruiter, because the recruiter, and this is the most important thing because it comes back to my first point, the recruiter knows what the hiring manager is looking for. So if they're interviewing prep, if they're giving you interview prep, they'll be able to focus down on exactly what the hiring manager is actually looking for. So it's even better than being, the most fantastic interviewer ever, is knowing what the hiring manager is looking for. So the recruiter in that scenario is your best mate. So I change the objective or the perspective on that. Focus on building the relationship and focus on communication with the recruiter in that scenario and getting them to do the interview prep with you.
Brian, thank you very much. That's really good tip. So because what I'm concentrating with is working with professionals based on that feedback we get. Because as you said, you know exactly what they want. So if we focus on that, then we maximize the chances to secure the role next time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That leads me to the second question, the main question.
Feel free to join our LinkedIn group. Hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you.